Greetings, Internet. Thinker2112 here with...
AnniexoHoshi. The same fast one, aka Jen, Candy, one half of Bother Spleen. I have too many names.
And I'm that other guy.
The artist formerly known as...
I am the nameless one.
The artist formerly known as...
The guy who had a name.
Blinky... Formerly known as Blink and You Miss It. It is 18:23 Eastern Daylight Time on Sunday the 2nd of October 2016, and for the first time in a long time, let's play Final Fantasy X-2. This project was sleeping, it was not dead.
Okay, but it has woken up with some mighty fine drams. Like, at first when you hit play, I thought that was something else play, but no, that's the game!
Yep, it's the game.
I love it.
So, the last place we need to go before we end this chapter is Bevel. And that guy, in case you don't remember, is Gipple, the head of the Machine faction, which is a bunch of Albed screwing around with Machina in Jose Temple mostly. Well, also in the desert, I guess.
Yes. All of the deserts.
Yes, and the Aeon's reappearing is not a rumor. Well, okay, it is a rumor, but it's a true rumor.
So it's a truer.
Yes, I suppose so.
Why must we use these things to the English language? Because.
The English language is a strange language. I mean, it's... I took one linguistics class in college. The way that our professor described it is Frenchified German.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just like a bunch of different languages all mushed into one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, now they blame things on the Youth League.
So let's blame the other group that is not us.
Yep, pretty much how things work on the real real world.
Yes. This is not our fault, so therefore yeah.
So I was planning to do this part last session, and then I realized that this part involves going through almost the entire part that I went through at the end of chapter 2. It's like, oh, that's more than I thought. Involving lots of battles. Oh yes, before I forget, I should probably explain why it's been so long since I posted. I wanted to do one of those deep thoughts videos, but then I discovered that YouTube has scrambled everything around so much since the last time I did one that I couldn't figure out how to do it.
They don't let you do filming from your webcam anymore.
Yeah, I was afraid that was the answer.
Yeah, it's stupid, but they got rid of that about I guess a few months ago or something like that. I don't know exactly when.
Yeah, anyway, so I got a surprise in December of last year. I learned that I had to take the Maryland bar exam. Now, I have been working in Maryland for a while as a lawyer, but basically my firm, they talk to their lawyers, and their lawyers advise them that everybody working from the Maryland office, whose main office is the Maryland office, should be licensed in Maryland, and I am not licensed in Maryland, so yeah, the unfortunate thing is that there are a lot of states that say if you've been practicing law for, for example, 5 of the past 7 years, then you can get admitted in this state without taking the bar exam. Maryland has that sort of thing, but for them it's 12 years.
Oh, wow.
I was not going to reach 12 years for a very long time. So, yeah, so I had to take the bar exam. I took it at the end of July. I do not know yet whether I passed. I will know in about a month.
I'm sure you have passed.
Thank you. If I didn't pass, I don't know what I'm going to do, because I probably prepared for it better than just about anybody. Well, I'll say this much. When I walked out of there at the end of the last session, I walked out of there thinking it was tough, but I didn't walk out of there thinking, oh, I should have studied, this or that more. I walked out of it thinking that I'd done everything I could have done. So that's really why I think I passed. Also because the one other time I took a bar exam, I passed.
I was gonna say, you kicked butt at the other bar.
Alright, so I cut out some stuff there of me not being able to see stuff because it was just too dark, and therefore not knowing what to do. I've also cut out some parts where my capture card just stopped recording. The good news is that the way this capture card works, I know immediately if it stops recording. And it didn't lose any of the stuff it had already recorded. So I was just able to pause the game and set up a new recording.
That's good. It's kind of weird though that it just does that.
I was telling Annie and Josiah before you joined the call that I think it may just have been because I hadn't used it in a while.
Maybe.
Like, it screwed up 3 times within the first 15 minutes, and then it lasted 20 minutes, and then it lasted as long as I needed it to last. And then the next day I tried recording, it lasted as long as I needed it to last. I'm getting a call from Denver, Colorado. I have no idea why. And I'm not going to pick it up.
No.
Congratulations, your business has been pre-selected for a $250,000 loan. You can press 1 now to be taken to a representative, or press 2 to be removed from our call list. Thank you so much, have a good day.
No! Hello, congratulations! After staying at the Marriott Suite Hotel in the past year, you have been pre-selected to receive a free weekend in the month of your choice.
I know how that stuff works. Whatever date you pick is already taken.
No, they're scam calls. They keep coming. I keep getting them from cities that don't have that type of Marriott hotel. It keeps claiming that they have.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of timeshares, I guess.
No, yeah, it's like I've been getting them since we booked for Dragon Con. However, none of my information was on the thing, so it's probably just coincidence. It's just really weird.
Yeah, I keep getting calls that are like at my office phone that are like, this is your final notice relating to, some supposed mortgage debt relief program or no credit card. It would be funnier if it were a mortgage thing because I don't own a home. But it's like a credit card thing, and they keep saying it's your final notice, and I keep thinking, oh, I wish it were the final notice. So I got a bit confused here because the map in the guide that I was using showed some treasure chests, like in the Cloister of Trials section. And then I looked more closely and it didn't show any way to get into or out of the Cloister of Trials section. And I was like, okay, how am I supposed to get those treasure chests?
You don't.
And that's what happened. I did not. There are, however, fiends in here, of course.
No, they dance into the background music.
I'm getting a bit of game sound from somewhere.
Want a bite?
I don't know, maybe I'm imagining it. It's not very loud.
I'm using a headset, so I don't think it's me.
Maybe I just imagined it.
Oh yeah!
Anyway, these guys are obviously tied to one element, so if you... Yes, exactly.
You burninated them both.
Doggy burninate.
It's a good doggy. It's a good fire doggy.
So yes, after I decided that these treasure chests either didn't exist or were not worth the effort, I went on. Because there was nothing big in any of them, even assuming that it is possible to get them.
Continue on thy journey.
Yeah, as I've said, the god I'm using does not have the best maps. Like, once you've deciphered them, you can use them, but deciphering them is not always easy. Okay, I wandered around here for a while before I realized that the way onward was in a spot that was not on the screen at the moment.
The way forward was the friends we made along the way.
Wait, what?
The way forward was actually the friends we made along the way. Have you not heard of that meme? The real X is our friendship all along.
I believe you when you say it exists, I just haven't seen it.
Really?
Time for something new.
I'm surprised. It was everywhere for a while.
Well, I tend to see memes like
Hey, look what I found.
long after they're out of fashion
I guess.
for some reason.
But it was like Dark Blink showed me the other thing, and then right after that it turned into maybe the real thing was our friends we made along the way.
Like, what was in the photo?
It's not a photo, it's just like
Just text?
somebody would ask a question and then the reply would be maybe the real thing the question was about is the friends we made along the way. Good old memes. Memes are so good.
Oh, okay, so you guys know where the term originated?
Lay it on me.
It was in the book The Selfish Gene by Richard Dawkins.
The selfish what?
Gene, Gene. He said that a meme was an idea that replicated itself. Like a gene is a piece of DNA that replicates itself. Yeah, so what you're seeing there is my capture card screwing up. Just before it stopped recording for the third time.
Oh no.
But
Let's try it.
yeah, after that it happened, it started behaving itself a lot more consistently.
Good.
So yeah, I was fighting this guy and I thought, wait, Yuna's dead. How'd that happen? Yeah, he has an HP equals 1 attack, and I didn't realize when it had happened.
That's something.
Yeah, it's some
Ready or not, here
some
I come.
games don't make it that clear to me, or don't make it that clear to the player when you've been hit or how hard you've been hit. Like, you guys ever play the game Jet Force Gemini?
Very little of it, but I have.
Okay, so you probably remember that when you got hit, if you were playing as either Juno or Vela, you would see the health meter, in the bottom left corner, but they wouldn't make a sound.
Yeah.
Only
yeah.
Lupus would actually make a sound when he got hurt.
It's
And-
amazing how big of a difference that actually makes, too. Like,
Yeah, it does.
going from, I recently played Dark Souls 2, and especially early on in the game, compared to the indication you get when you get hit in, Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3, your character doesn't really react, and there's really no on-screen effect that happens when you take damage. And so, it's amazing how big of a difference that makes in just your perception of how much health you've got. Like, you look down and you're like, oh wow, I'm half health now. I didn't even realize I got hit at all in the first place.
Well, yeah, in Jet Force Gemini, it's like, ooh, I'm, mowing down all these drones and I'm not getting hurt. Oh, wait a minute, you mean taking all that rocket fire hurt me? Crap.
I mean, just because rockets don't hurt.
It's also that the way the health is displayed is not the most intuitive. It's like you have this, depending on how many health upgrades you have, anywhere from a half circle to a full circle, and each time it depletes, like one little icon goes away from, or one part disappears from the icon in the center. So it's like, unless it's not, just a bar that you can see, getting emptier or fuller, or just a circle that, it's not, a standard sort of display.
Right.
So when you add those two things together, it's kind of easy just to be really low on health and not realize it.